Share Shot Reality on WrestleZone.com. Like, share, comment, do what you got to do. At Juicy Steen, at Justin LeBar. Let's talk about Finn Balor. Friend of the show, Bill Apter, the godfather of wrestling coverage, also was kind enough to congratulate us on 300 episodes, 60 episodes ago. Bill Apter on his podcast every single week, which you can check out, was talking to his co-host Nick Hausman about Finn Balor and how maybe Finn Balor should be on the 205 Live program. Check it out.
I also would think I would have liked to have seen him in his comeback against an equal weight competitor. Jinder Mahal obviously outweighs him. So I think I would have liked to have seen him against another cruiserweight for his comeback.
Would you prefer to see Finn Balor in the 205 on 205 Live and in the cruiserweight division?
Yes.
I agree.
Actually, I think on special occasions he should be on the main rosters there because he's a great wrestler and he's an excellent showman. But I'd rather see him in the mix because he's such a great aerial artist.
All right, so again, you can check out Apter's podcast every single week. You can check out the link, which is right here below. Juice, do you agree? I mean, it's something that it's not the first time I've heard that. No. The fact that Finn Balor is like 190 or 170.
Yeah, people always talk about how small size he is. Mark Madden on your show the other day said the same thing. He's like he's so tiny. He respects Nakamura in the way he does his thing, but Finn Balor's too small to be in that.
Oh, you listened. Well,
yeah,
thanks.
Of course I listen.
Oh, thanks.
And, I do what I can.
I mean, but
anyway,
he's not wrong in the size.
He's not wrong, but Brian, Punk, every other, all these other guys, it's happened, and not everybody's the right size. Not everybody can be Jinder,
Yeah.
But I don't think he should be on 205 Live. That would be so detrimental after literally running NXT for so long, and the hype and. No.
Now, and again, to be fair to what you heard, Apter said that, special occasions he wouldn't mind seeing Finn Balor on the main roster, but that's the problem, is that's the whole thing that I've talked about over and over about the cruiserweights, is that they are phenomenal athletes, and for that style of wrestling, if that's what you enjoy, they are the best of the best, or some of the best of the best. But it's once you label that they are 205 or less, it all of a sudden pigeonholes and limits them.
Now,
so
do you think in the same regard,
you can't have them do both, and furthermore,
do you think there's any chance that any of those guys go to Raw or SmackDown?
Well, like we said earlier, talking about Jinder Mahal, I think Arya Daivari is because you're casting and need somebody.
And if they go, I think you can. Is that the motion? Just because you're tiny?
No, you can move up.
Do you think you could go down?
You can move up, but you can't. Once you go down, and once you can go up and compete against people of all of the sizes. But once you get moved down, so if you move Finn Balor down, you can't go back from that. That's why I've said before.
Do you think there's any way that if you go down, then you don't want to go up again? You can't.
I don't think it's a two-way street. I do not think it's a two-way street. I think, again, nothing against the athletes and the people, their craft, but it's just perception. And so
it's almost like you'd want to stay.
It's already weird to have weight classes in a predetermined sport.
Well, when anything can happen
the fact
every week,
that they do, you have to be careful of how you, I've said it before, that if the cruiserweights go away in the next year or two, not saying they will or not wishing on that, but if they did, if the current 205 Live disappeared, Jack Gallagher is the one guy that stands out to me that would have a pass to move up to the main roster and work because he has that entertainment value, and we even saw, I think it's an entertainment value that Vince McMahon appreciates, hence why he was the one cruiserweight in the Royal Rumble, which makes no sense because the winner of the Rumble gets a challenge for a world title, which Jack Gallagher technically isn't even eligible for. But my point being is I think you can move up, but once you move up, you can't go back down, and this can't be a two-way street.
And I think for a lot of guys on the show, aside from a Jack Gallagher or a Neville or Austin Aries, you wouldn't want to move up then.
Yeah.
Because you've already been slotted in this one spot, and I think it sucks that you can't do that. Now, for some of the UK guys that they've been hyping up, Pete Dunne, Mark Andrews, and Tyler Bate.
Well, even the UK, Tyler Bate, he's definitely under 205.
Do you think you think they just go to 205 Live?
I don't know if they go to 205 Live. I don't know. That's a really good question.
Those guys are.
I think the UK show might be kept just completely separate because you're right. If you
I think it will be kept separate too, but I think they're so they're so good. Their characters are really strong, especially Pete Dunne's. They
have more characters on the UK show than they do the cruiserweight.
Yeah, but I'm saying they could, if they were to go and do something that's not the UK show. I don't think 205 Live is a spot for them, but I don't know if they would hold a spot on Raw or SmackDown.
Well, and another issue I want to bring up real quick, just with what Bill Apter said, and obviously again I respect Bill and I encourage you to listen to this podcast, but just dissecting that clip you heard. Bill said, he complimented Finn Balor saying how he's such an aerial artist, which is true. But again, it goes to the fact of the style that you see on the Cruiserweight show. We see Kevin Owens doing some of that stuff. We might see Cesaro and all 6'5" of him.
Luke Harper.
Luke Harper, right. So, aerial artist, but at this point, again,
everybody's done.
This is not WCW 1997.
It's not.
It is, yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
Despite Charlotte and Naomi having a no-build free match on TV.
And SmackDown doesn't have Glacier.
They don't have Glacier.
Unfortunately.
You've become a big Glacier mark ever since the...
well, they got revitalized because of Joey Janela's
Janela,
spring break. You know, he's got.
I never thought that we'd say Joey Janela so much on the show, but in the last 2 weeks, we should have a Joey Janela counter.
He has a big article on PWI.
Good for him. All right, we're going to wrap the week episode up. I'm actually going to step off the set. We're going to leave this up to Juice. We're going to bring in Renell.
You've never seen a segment with less views than you're about to see.
They're going to educate.
It's going to be the greatest, worst segment you've ever seen.
They're going to educate us on what to expect from a House of Horrors match, a.k.a. the next segment.